Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the Oregon Women's Disc Golf Finale 2020 Dexter Disc Golf Course, first time ever. I'm Zoe Andyke.
And I'm Valarie Jenkins.
We're your commentary team for this today, and you better believe we're dressed up as Wonder Women. Look at all these fantastic coverage sponsors. This event was huge. It was a big success for the nonprofit Universal Play Disc Golf, and we're so excited to have our first production to share with you here today. Our players, Amy Lewis, Jackolyn Halstead, Zoe Andyke, and Ashlyn Tahlier.
And I was gonna mention, I usually dress up like Wonder Woman anyway, but this tournament was happening on Halloween. So we see Jackie still in costume, Ashlyn's rocking the Robert costume. It was a blast out there. You held a great tournament, and this final round, I'm expecting some good action.
Good action for sure. Starting off with hole 1, par 3. It's 405 feet, and it is all open air, big open field, little bit of downhill there. Amy Lewis on top of the box as her and Jackie tied the first round with the best score.
And as you mentioned, Oregon Women's Disc Golf Finale, first time this event has ever happened. And it was a culmination of all of the women's leagues that you hosted throughout the summer that benefited you play disc golf. So really cool to see all the women being able to come together for one final event as a celebration of an incredible year.
Yes, that's right. A definite celebration for sure. And I'd like to just mention that we had 55 players sign up for this event. 52 actually made it and played day of, which is incredible. I mean, my heart's desires were just like above and beyond fulfilled with that many participants in year number 1, and motivate me to want to do this again and again and again.
Yeah, and you looked amped up there on hole 1. You are nearly parked on this over 400-foot hole.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that drive felt really good. As you can imagine, I was just doing a couple of things throughout the day that were not necessarily preparing me for the tournament and to play, but to start off with that drive just felt really good.
Ooh, and almost catching it. That looked like it could have been a jumper. It was on circle's edge.
Yeah, I think it was just outside, and I was giving it that safe bid. Amy for par. Boom! That was a big first putt for the par save.
That's huge. Knowing going into this round, she's tied up with you guys. You got 18 holes ahead of her. She didn't want to start out with a bogey, that's for sure. Neither did Ashlyn.
Yeah. Look at that. So as you can see, as I approach to tap in my 3, all 4 of us card the par 3 completely different ways. Pretty cool stuff.
It's a great start, and everyone stays where they are. And we're going to head into hole 2.
Hole 2. It's tricky. It's getting you prepped to get into the woods at Dexter State Park. It's only 243 feet, par 3. And it's pretty typical to see a forehand for a righty thrower. Backhand is a little more difficult of a shot. You have to flip something over.
Yeah, and from the tee, from what I remember, you cannot see the pin at all, and you have to just judge the distance based on what you practiced. So it looked like she was able to skip in there, and the sidearm shot, I think, really is the best play.
Absolutely. I mean, when the disc is losing spin and it's falling towards the right, and that's the direction of the pin. Well played by Amy, and I think she got a sweet skip there. Jackie going with the turnover backhand. I think she got in there. It's so hard to tell at Dexter. It's part of the fun, and a lot of these holes you can't really predict what's going to happen. Ashlyn with a big forehand, a little more air, and a nice roll to the safety log. That log points directly at the basket. I always find it to be a good sign if I think I'm landing anywhere near it.
Yeah, what a great visual. And look at you here. You're going for the backhand shot.
Love me some backhand putter throws. And I think you hear Jackie say a bold route, and definitely so. It's the more aggressive kind of ace line attack that I'm taking with the putter there.
I love how you just said that ace run attack. There's always aces out here.
Aces.
Meanwhile, Ashlyn's going for birdie, but rolls away a little bit of a death roll. And look at this
Yeah.
comeback.
Dang. And that's part of the trickiness to this green. As you can see, Amy taking a knee to get basket height, cashing her birdie. But this green it's a very, very tricky downhill slope behind the basket. So I'm really happy with where I land. I'm on more of that even kind of level side hill putt. Happy to take my birdie.
Nicely done, making it look easy. Jackie's got a little tricky putt here. Oh, and she gets the same roll as Ashlyn.
And
Not
look at
quite
how
as
it's
far.
just rested on that little piece of shul. Okay, strong comebacker there. And I don't know if you guys heard there on the coverage after Jackie had hit the cage on her third attempt. A couple of the players yelled, "Dot!" And so we have a dots competition live. And if you guys don't know about dots, Val, can you give them a little bit of education on that game?
Yeah, Jackie didn't have the greatest one there, but anytime you hit the basket without going into the basket, you rack up a dot. Most dots at the end of the round wins a sweet prize. And I know you had some great prizes for all these competitors.
Oh, yeah. Hole 3, par 3, 153 feet, straight down the hill. Players definitely want to know their disc selection, pick out their line, and trust the disc. You've got to know how to throw the uphill and downhill elevation at Dexter because this hill comes back into play on a couple of different fairways.
Now this is an ace hole. What a beautiful shot. If you hit that perfect line, you can just see the entire flight of the disc. Jackie going the right-hand route.
Almost squeaking past that tree. Lands pretty safe though.
I think you're good as long as you get down there on the dance floor and you're able to putt. Jackie made a dot.
Dot. It is fun. I mean, if there's anything that's going to be fun about missing a putt, yelling out dot certainly does add a little extra smile to maybe not necessarily the outcome you wanted on the scorecard. I didn't get to yell dot right there.
Oh, yeah. Even part of the poll, you can yell dot, but Amy doesn't care. She's going for the chains. That's another birdie on her scorecard.
Huge putt there, just at circle's edge or outside, making it look easy.
Another dot for Ashlyn.
Yes. I'm just tapping in my par and getting out of town there.
A little speed of play there for Jackie as she taps in her par.
Really appreciate that too. You notice the quick little hesitation, Jackie looking around and kind of verbally making sure Ashlyn was okay with that. And I'll tell you what, these ladies are so professional and so cool to play with. That kind of thing just ain't no thing. Hole 4. It's a par 3, 222 feet. Tricky. Even though these distances don't seem that far, the gaps are small and you've got to get through in order to give yourself a chance at the birdie.
Yeah, and some of these tees, it's very tight from the start. So you have to make sure you're hitting that line immediately or squeaking through and getting lucky.
Yeah, and parking it. I mean, that is a really happy outcome there. Amy's stoked about that. I think she was a little worried out the hands and then realized that was a park job. Throwing a Discraft zone here, overstable, kind of fast putter or slow mid, whatever you want to consider it. And I thought it was perfect, but again, sneaky Dexter, little tiny twig tree, jumps up and grabs my disc.
Ooh, seeing Jackie going Amy's route.
Inside line, it produces on the dance floor. Ashlyn likes my side there, the wide hyzer route, and she squeaks through. And I was so ready for this putt. I remember lining up and thinking, a little bit downhill. I love jump putts. Let's go.
Man, this is about 80 feet at least.
You can hear my sheer total shock, actually, because I thought it was totally in, but it was fun to bid.
That would have been a good one for Jackie as well.
But she's collecting another dot. Ashlyn might have gone just a little bit quickly there. She's going to take a second, gather herself, walking to her next shot, and really, really appreciate playing with a player like Ashlyn. She's taken her time now. She's learned from what just happened. She's given herself a practice swing, ready to cash in. Better attempt, hits the top of the band, collecting another dot.
It is hard to recover from that first putt, from completely missing, trying to adjust a little bit. That's a good putt right there, but we've all been in that situation where you're in the heat of it, you have to react immediately, and you have to step up and make that putt. So I'm just going to card the bogey. Amy gets another birdie.
And a CTP. So as if we weren't giving away thousands of dollars in merchandise and prizes already, at the lunch break, a really nice local Eugene disc golfer, Mike Beatty, comes up and says, "Hey, I've got more CTPs. How about hole 4 and, hole 11? I'd like to see them." So a bonus CTP there. Amy's getting that birdie. Ashlyn with a bogey. Jackie and I pars. We've got a game here. I mean, interesting things always can happen at Dexter. You've got to be clean off the tee.
This video is brought to you by Resistance Discs. Head over to resistancediscs.com and use code CHSports at checkout to get free shipping on any order over $25. Thank you to resistancediscs.com, and let's get back to the video.
And here we are on hole 5. It's a par 3. 258 feet. You know, for a right-handed thrower, a sidearm or a backhand is a good play. You've got to know your discs, you've got to know the stability, and you've really just got to hit the gap.
And we know Amy relies on that sidearm. She's got so much power. She can hit that straight line and let the disc do the rest of the work. And it needed to do some work to get through those trees. Ooh, a little slip there?
Yeah, a little slippy boost. I'll call it a slippy boost instead of a slippy bum or whatever else. But I think I got up there pretty good for something happening sliding off the tee pad.
Yeah, a little extra follow through maybe.
Yeah. Jackie blasting it up there. I asked her if she was going for the long pin, and she's like, "Well, wasn't the plan, but got way up there."
Exactly. That's a better solution than trying to struggle your way all the way to the basket.
Absolutely. And there's that trusted sidearm, getting her right under the basket. Good play, good composure, pulling together the par.
Great angle here for Ashlyn. Solid layup. So Ashlyn, I haven't seen her play a ton. What's the scoop? What's the history on Ashlyn?
I'm really glad you asked, Val. Ashlyn is she's been around and in this game, I believe, longer than I even have, close to 17 years. She picked it up, learned disc golf like 20, 21 years old, and then she took a huge hiatus from playing. And this summer has recently found herself back playing. She found the Oregon Women's Disc Golf Leagues that UPlay was hosting. And she was at almost every Dexter league we had and every traveling Lane County. She seriously enjoys fun, positive, competitive women's disc golf, and she can't get enough of it. Pure pleasure to have her on the card and see her out on the course shredding.
That is awesome. Pars around for the group on hole 5. And nice to see Ashlyn, I mean, making a lead card. I'm sure those women's league nights helped out.
Definitely so. I was stoked to be playing with her in both rounds, actually. Moving on to hole 6. It's a par 4, 445 feet. That's right, you guys. It is a par 4 for this tournament, which is absolutely the correct par for our women's event. This is a tricky hole.
Yeah. I think a correct par, too. I mean, it really would take an absolute smash from probably one player like Paige Pierce to even get a birdie run. For the rest of us average people, a par 4 on a nearly 450-foot hole, that's a great decision.
Yeah. And it really feels good to actually card that 3. Since the day I started playing Dexter, I've always considered 3 a fantastic score. This hole and the next hole are kind of known as Bogey Island, and if you can get through the island unscathed or parring out, you've got some disc golf skill.
So Ashlyn's not by the basket we're going for. She still has another throw ahead of her.
Gets herself back into the fairway there. And as you can see, the green is pretty protected, by all those trees, half trees and full trees, but it's like the entire circle too is protected.
Oh, that's a bonus skip. I think once you get past that grass there, you can get a little bit of extra skip at the very end. And that really helps out. After getting through the trees, that's the hardest part.
Exactly. Amy on her second shot here.
Whoa, that turned out
good. Yeah, trusty, overstable fairway driver there. And I'm relying on my signature Sphinx here. I'm trying to bend it around that tree in front of me. It actually comes out of my hand and flies better than I drew it up in my own head. I'm skipping all the way up to the next shot. I'm stoked about that.
Beautiful. Amy, for her 3, she skipped way up there. This is a good putt.
Oh, boom for the birdie 3. Oh my gosh, let's play that one back.
Wow. I mean, you're lucky to get a dot on that one, but the height she put on it to hyzer in, and that hit dead center middle of the pole.
That's
surprised
right.
her, I think.
It definitely did. She's right out of her hand. She's like, oh, that's a little high. And it actually had enough height to go right into the basket. Oof. Dot there for Ashlyn. And this is for my 3rd attempt here for the birdie. Yeah, just stay on in there, putter.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see the little ghost in the background. We had some fun Halloween decorations kind of sprinkled throughout the course, not to mention some candy hidden under baskets and in stumps. And I think the players found that to be quite fun. And yeah, it was just a festive and happy and exciting tournament for so many different reasons on Halloween.
Some good scores there on hole 6. We got 3 birdies and we got a bogey for Ashlyn.
All right, the next hole on Bogey Island, hole 7, par 3, 345 feet. And this is a newer tee pad for the entire course. I think it was put in midsummer. The locals have been craving a new tee pad location for years, and finally this year it's here and we get to test it out. And it is not an easy hole. Got a low ceiling from the tree branches. We've got a protected green, and it does kind of, the fairway leaks to the right a little bit. So backhanded throwers need a little bit flippy or to flip something over. And sidearm is a dominant play.
And again, you're playing that skip. Once you hit the dirt, you can get a little bit closer to the basket with that skip. That's a full flex shot out of Jackie.
Yeah.
Pretty long putt there, but it looks a little more open on the left-hand side.
And you're right, actually, Val, it is over there. I encourage Jackie and Ashlyn, hey, don't worry about it. You're in good position over there. And as you can see, Amy got taken down a little bit early due to that low ceiling, but decent upshot there.
Did I see some junior players in the background?
That is exactly what you saw. Thanks for noticing and bringing it up. We had a full card of juniors, super special. And the fact that we actually had them strategically placed right behind top card FPO was so fun to be able to look back and watch them enjoying and encouraging and just having a blast out there.
That is so cool. Starting them while they're young, getting them those chances to make friends, and giving them a chance to have a competition. I mean, there were no kids playing when I started playing disc golf, so that's a really great opportunity that you were able to give them.
Well, I appreciate you highlighting that, Val, especially being a UPlay ran event. And certainly this is the wrap up to the women's league seasons. All of those girls, every single one of them participated and are from a different area. We have 2 from Lane County, but one living in Cottage Grove, one in Springfield. One is from Marion County, the Salem area, and the other right outside of Salem.
Wow.
So a little score change there.
Yeah, Amy, unfortunately with that bogey there, she was on quite a streak.
And as we cross the road back over to hole 8, it's a par 3, 340 feet. This is the first time out of bounds could come into play. We've got the road and beyond off to the right. Interestingly enough, I'm just testing that line, but managed to stay in bounds, and I'm pretty happy with where I ended up landing, getting through those trees.
Yeah, with these low ceilings, it's tough to not put too much angle on them. You really have to power the shot through, and Jackie always throws with that nice anhyzer and really gets the full flight out of her drives.
Yeah. And I believe that's a katana that Ashlyn is throwing. She loves that disc, and I have seen her probably 12 feet away from this basket before. So I know that wasn't exactly the drive or the distance that she was wanting, but it was a great throw.
I think a sidearm has a really good chance to get the distance, but then fade to the basket. As long as she can keep it out left.
Exactly. Oh, just got taken down a little bit early.
I noticed another camera person on the tee. Did we get another video coming out?
We do, actually. That's Tanner LaBelle that you see all duck costumed up, and he's gathering all kinds of content and helping our media team that filmed this actual round, because he's putting together a fantastic highlight of what the entire event was. And if you guys follow the UPlay Disc Golf YouTube channel, you're going to be able to see that highlight video coming up here towards the holiday.
That's awesome. Not only you got all these women out here, but you've got all these different media teams. So this is like a high-class event here.
This is like the women's West Coast Nationals or something. I was definitely calling it a few fun nicknames like that all throughout the event because it completely exceeded my goals and expectations. Plus, if any of you know me, I wouldn't really be on the top of the list being described as super savvy on the line or with the media or social medias, on the line. But I'm really, really trying to up our game for the organization and myself so that more content and more teaching productions can be, UPlay DG can be an outlet for people to find not only feel good and really, really happy versions and ways to grow disc golf, but how to learn technique, how to learn how to introduce the sport, involve it in other communities, all the above. Make
That's
sure
how the
you're
world
watching.
is learning.
Yeah.
We're all watching. And it's awesome to see the top ladies in Oregon battling it out. That's pars for the whole group there.
Coming into the 9th hole, it's a par 3, 252 feet. And, there used to be a mando tree right in the middle here. They've taken that away years ago, so they've opened up the right sideline. There always was the left sideline. The basket is in the left location, so for a couple of years now, I've been taking this right line. It's for my dominant throw, a little bit easier. It kind of suits my backhand hyzer game.
I feel like this is one of those signature holes, or definitely one of those holes out here at Dexter that sticks in my mind, especially where the basket is placed and just how tricky the tee shot is. I mean, I feel like this hole is everything about Dexter.
I couldn't agree more with you there. And, I remember the days that they didn't have those logs, kind of the stepped tiers. And if you look where Ashlyn just landed there, she skipped up onto the first step. That's an incredible shot.
Yeah, if those logs weren't there, I'm sure you saw tons of rollaways in the past.
Oh, yeah.
Drives and probably putts.
Most definitely. So they're kind of a savior. Amy taking kind of a wide hyzer upshot, and I think it lands great. It's probably all of 12, 15 feet from the basket there. I like it, so I'm kind of mimicking that line, landing right next to her.
And this is a putt here for Jackie, but it is way uphill. That requires tons of power to get enough height to get to the basket. But even when you're up near the basket, it's not so easy. See Ashlyn struggling to find some solid footing.
Yes, as you can see, that was a struggle to get herself comfortable and set, but she cards the birdie. We're stoked to see that. A birdie on this hole feels really good.
Yeah, it's nice to be close to the basket like that. Even your putt, that's a little scary.
I know, a little death putt, looking some death putt in the face there. As you see Amy taking a knee to get a little bit, down to that level of where the basket is. Great play, great putt.
9 holes in. Amy was looking like she was unstoppable. She kind of slowed down here a little bit. We'll see if you can catch up. You're just 2 strokes back. Jackie's 3 strokes back. And Ashlyn, she's got some work to do to get back up in there.
It's a tight race, folks, and thank you for joining us on the front 9. Be sure to come back for the back 9 for this super fantastic holiday fun event.
Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.